Imagine driving home on a quiet country road. No traffic, no streetlights, just trees pressing in from both sides, and the sound of your tires humming against the pavement. Now, imagine this. The insects stop, the wind dies, your radio goes silent, and then the sky lights up. A massive glowing object descends behind your car, bathing everything in an amber glow. The next thing you remember, you are still in your vehicle. No crash, no injury, but 3 hours of your life are gone. You don't remember where you were, you don't remember what happened, and you weren't alone. This is Mr. Nighttora, where every story hides a mystery and every sound carries fear. Here, I bring you true and terrifying accounts, unexplained events, and dark stories from around the world. Cases that leave behind questions no one can answer. On one single night in 1969, over 40 people, all strangers in different locations, experienced the same impossible event. This is not a legend. This is not a movie. This is the true story of the Berkshire UFO incident, and the road locals still call the Highway of Lost Time. September 1st, 1969, Labor Day. Berkshire County, Massachusetts was exactly what you'd expect from a rural New England region in late summer. Rolling hills, thick forests, quiet towns like Sheffield and Great Barrington. Families spent the day at parades and lakes. Restaurants closed late. Children were preparing for school the next morning. America had just landed on the moon weeks earlier. Space was a topic of wonder, not fear. And as night fell, people began heading home, down back roads, across bridges, through stretches of darkness so familiar no one thought twice about them. One of those roads was Covered Bridge Lane, a narrow, tree-lined road near the Housatonic River, a shortcut locals used every day. No warning signs, no reputation, just a road, until that night. 8:30 p.m., Sheffield, Massachusetts. 9-year-old Thom Reed sat in the back seat of his family's station wagon. His mother was driving. His grandmother sat beside her. His younger brother was in the car. They had just closed their family restaurant and were heading home. The radio played softly. The road ahead was empty. As they approached the old Sheffield covered bridge, something strange happened. A light appeared behind the trees. At first, it looked distant, almost like headlights. Then it rose, not fast, not slow, deliberate. The light grew larger, brighter, until it was no longer behind them. It was following them. Tom's mother checked the rearview mirror, her face drained of color. "It's following us," she said. And then everything changed. The silence. The first thing that disappeared was sound. Crickets, frogs, wind, gone. The world didn't just get quiet. It felt muted, like someone had wrapped reality in thick fabric. The air became heavy. Tom later described it as moving through water, as if gravity itself had thickened. The car was suddenly flooded with a deep amber light, so bright it erased shadows, so intense it felt solid. The engine sputtered. There was a tapping sound, and then nothing. No one remembers the transition. No scream, no impact, just absence. When awareness returned, the car was stopped. The engine was off. The headlights were dark. They were no longer positioned the same way in the vehicle. Seats had changed. No one could explain how. Tom's family thought only minutes had passed, but when they checked the time, 3 hours were missing. 3 full hours of their lives had vanished, and fragments began surfacing, images that didn't feel like dreams. A massive interior space, bright fluorescent lighting, smooth walls, screens showing symbols no one recognized, figures, humanoid, but wrong, then panic, then sound returned, violently. Crickets exploded into noise, the world snapped back, and they were alone on the road, shaking. crying, trying to understand what had just stolen their night. At the same time, Lake Mansfield. Miles away in Great Barrington, Melanie Kirchdorfer, age 12, sat in her family's parked car near Lake Mansfield. It had been a normal evening. Then the light came, bright, overhead. The car began to shake. Melanie felt herself lifting, not physically climbing, being pulled. She screamed. Her next memory was lying on a cold surface. A room, bright white light. Other children were there, terrified. One by one, they disappeared. Melanie was frozen with fear, and then darkness. When she woke up, she was alone. The lake was silent. Hours had passed. She walked home in shock. Her sister remembered almost nothing. Her family couldn't explain where the time had gone, and still, they had no idea this was happening to others. A third witness, Tom Warner. 19-year-old Tom Warner was near the same area that night. He saw a beam of light descend. He felt voices in his head, not heard, placed. He tried to run. His legs moved, but he didn't. The environment felt frozen. He was pulled upward, inside a craft, metallic walls, strange colors, vibration. A presence spoke. "We'll be back." 7 to 9 minutes later, Tom found himself standing on his family's land. The object was gone, and his life was never the same. Here's what makes this incident different. These people did not know each other. They were not together. They did not coordinate their stories. Yet every one of them described the same impossible things. Massive glowing objects, sudden silence in the air, heavy pressure pressing down, time gaps, complete disorientation. Over 40 independent witnesses. Local radio station WSBS was flooded with calls that night, more than 250. This wasn't a shared hallucination. There was no crowd, no event, no trigger. Skeptics suggest psychology, stress, dissociation, infrasound, but there were no accidents, no intoxication, no hysteria, just ordinary people on ordinary roads experiencing the same impossible interruption of reality. If you've ever experienced something truly terrifying, share it with us in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Mr. Nighttora, because the fear doesn't end when the story does. It follows you home.